The U.S. Senate gets back to work on airport safety after passing 2 amendments to a bill, one to increase security and the other to expand visual deterrence at airports.
Senator Kelly Ayotte says there's bipartisan support.
Making sure that state, federal, local are working together. That's making sure that our law enforcement at every level and our intel officials have the tools that they need to be able to protect us.
This is an important piece of legislation for our country and its economy, for our citizens.
It's a bipartisan bill, but it's extremely important for the job aspect, for the safety aspect.
We have people who want to harm Americans, and it is our job to make sure that we are giving those authorities who are there to prevent those types of attacks against Americans all the tools that they need.
The Senate's FAA reauthorization bill will make our aviation system stronger for families, children, veterans, and the traveling public.
Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland back on Capitol Hill meeting with Democratic senators today. The Republican leadership has said no hearings, no vote, no way.
I think it's important that we let the American people decide who's going to be in charge of the Supreme Court.
We ought to have the appointee made by the president who's closest to the voters. That'll be the one that's nominated and sworn in this November and this January. That's where it ought to be made.
The people deserve to be heard, and they should be allowed to decide through their vote for the next president, the type of person that should be on the Supreme Court.
This is based not on the personality of the nominee, but on the principle that the American people should have their voice heard.
The American people deserve to be heard on a decision that has this much impact and lasts this long.
Senator Grassley is an outstanding public servant. Every other member of this body should be trying to copy his example, not come to the floor to criticize him or take cheap shots, as the Democrats have been doing.
The American people are lucky to have a judiciary chairman like Senator Grassley in their corner. Senator Grassley is passionate about giving the people of this country a voice.
There are very few people in this body who are as honest and decent as Chuck Grassley. He's a good man. He deserves to be treated like a good man and a good leader.